Hello, welcome, and thank you so much for joining this presentation as we unveil the next generation and evolution of Princess Cruises as we unveil this incredible Sun Princess. My name is David Craven. I'm one of the key account managers here across Australia, New Zealand, and it really does get me giddy to showcase this incredible ship. It really is something to behold. Now, before we get into this presentation, I did just want to remind all of you at home that you yourself can actually win a 10-night cruise on board this incredible ship as she departs in early February next year. Now, all you need to do is enter your booking by going to OneSource and then literally tell us in 25 words or less what you love about the beautiful Sun Princess. Now, we've actually extended this competition. So this is running now until the 14th of July. So make sure any bookings that you've made, you have gone to OneSource, get them in because you've got to be in it to win it. On top of that, we're also going to give you $2,000 worth of Easy Air credit to get you there and back. So make sure you are entering your bookings. Now, on top of that, for saying thank you for joining this presentation today, we're going to give away a 4-night staycation on board the beautiful Royal Princess. That is right. Simply by staying on this presentation to the very end, you can actually go in the winning to win a 4-night cruise on board the gorgeous Royal. All you need to do is scan the QR code that you see on the screen right now. So make sure you scan that. All we're going to ask is your name and the agency that you work in, as well as a contact email address, so we can send you all the details. So if you're currently watching this on your phone, then make sure you take a screenshot so you can enter all that information. Now, if you are watching this at a later date, watching the pre-recorded version, unfortunately, this is only eligible for those watching it live. So it really does pay to make sure you're watching this live. Now, to unveil this incredible ship, it is not going to be me talking about the ship. It's going to be somebody who is well more versed in the ship. Now, this individual is actually part of designing the actual Sun Princess. They're responsible for, designing it and then bringing it to life. So we are just so honored, so privileged to welcome Richard Parker. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is just so just an honor to have you here. Of course, you are the director for the guest experience, new builds and product development. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me. It's always exciting to talk about Sun Princess.
And we are all excited to learn more. So I believe you're not based here in Australia. Whereabouts are you located at the moment?
So I am usually based in Los Angeles. So I'm based in the main offices of Princess Cruises in LA and Santa Clarita. Although at the moment you find me in Toronto, Canada, on the East Coast. So it is beautiful here today. It is warm and sunny. So I send you regards from Canada.
Which is the complete opposite of what it's like here in Australia. I can't really grumble. I'm in Queensland. It's currently 21 degrees, but I think the rest of the country is getting to single digits. So, yes, it's definitely fresh. It's definitely winter here. But thank you so much for joining us again today. And with that, I will hand over so you can share more. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. And again, thank you again for inviting me. It's always so exciting to talk about Sun Princess and all of the exciting news we have about Sun Princess. So to get us started, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I have a great job. So I've been involved with Sun Princess for 6 years. So I actually started with Sun Princess in March of 2017. And we actually started with a blank piece of paper. And it's very unique in this industry to have the opportunity to start with a blank piece of paper. And we asked ourselves, basically, where would we like the ship to go? What ports would we like to get into? And ultimately, how big a ship would we want and numbers on board to, deliver the Princess product? And ultimately, we ended up with a ship that is 4,300 guests, lower berths, and a ship that's 175,500 tons. So that's about 20% bigger than the Royal class. Although, as we go through the design of the ship, I think you'll agree that although Sun is a bigger ship, you won't necessarily feel that. It really is about having more options as opposed to getting that really big ship feel. It will feel small and intimate, but really it's just more options on board the ship for our guests. And just like all of our ships, starting even with the Sun class ships back in the 1995, which was actually my first ship, it's all about the balconies too. So, you know, on this ship, we have over 1,500 balconies. So, again, Sun Princess, you know, is the evolution of the Princess brand and offerings. It's, you know, we always say it's an evolution, not a revolution. And hopefully as we step through here, and this was also called Project Sphere. It's called the Sphere class ships. And we'll get to that in a moment, why we actually came up with that name. It probably becoming obvious as you look at the profile. We'll get into a bit more detail with that as well. You know, in designing also Sun Princess, you know, we want to do our very best for the environment and making the ship as eco-friendly as we can with the technology that's available right now. And this is our first ship that is going to be powered by LNG, liquid natural gas, which, you know, in the current technologies that are available, it is, you know, a cleaner burning fuel. This isn't a first for Carnival Corporation. Many of our sister brands are already LNG, but it is a first for Princess Cruises. So we're also very excited about that. So getting to the design of the ship, there were a few things we wanted to do. So the first thing is that we, you know, with a lot of ships that are out there today, they're not necessarily, of other brands, I will add, they're not necessarily attractive ships. And what we wanted to do is build a ship that looks like a ship, but also, let's use the word iconic. We wanted a ship that looks iconic, that when you see it out there in its natural environment, you will look at it and say, oh, there's that Princess ship. The other thing we wanted to do is build a ship that looked outwards. Many ships that are being built today for other brands look inwards. And, you know, we're in such a unique environment. You know, we have just incredible views. When you're out at sea, I mean, that view is unmatched. And also some of the fantastic destinations and ports we go to. And what we wanted to do is really celebrate those views. We wanted to really, you know, have the ship looking outwards to see those views, and also allow all of that natural light to come into the ship and light it. So as we step through this, I'm sure hopefully you will see that just that theme running through the ship with each of the venues. So just as we look at the profile of the ship here, you know, there's two distinct areas that really embrace this. So right at the center there, you see the sphere. So that is, you know, what gave the class of ship its name, the Sphere class. So we have this sphere in the center that we refer to as this sort of pearl in the center of the ship. The bottom of it is actually the Piazza. And for all of you who have sailed with Princess Cruises, you all know the Piazza, and we obviously all love that venue. And so the bottom three decks of that are the Piazza. And then as we step up through the accommodation block, you know, those cabins are part of the sphere, and they have really large balconies, and they're just part of that experience. If we look up at top on deck 17 and 18 all the way forward, you'll also see a dome. And again, we'll get to some really cool slides about that later on. This is a brand new venue for us, very unique, obviously incredible views from up there. But you'll see how, again, the ship has, you know, evolved into this, you know, beautiful lines, very, you know, curvaceous, we use the word, and just very natural in its environment. So we're going to start actually with a venue I just mentioned, which is the Piazza. So, you know, if you've been on a Princess ship, you know the Piazza. It's sort of our town square, our meeting place. You know, this is where our guests come to meet and mingle. We offer entertainment in here. Obviously many different venues around the space. What we wanted to do in here also is really embrace it as an entertainment venue. You know, we already use the Piazza on the Royal class, for example, and the Grand class as an entertainment venue, but we really wanted to embrace it on the Sun Princess. So you can see here, you know, looking forward into the Piazza, what you see straight ahead of you is a 3-deck high LED screen, and this LED screen can reconfigure itself. So, you know, during the day, this LED screen will be part of the ambience of the space, part of the, you know, the the day, the light of the day and the scenery outside will all be embraced by this LED screen. But in the evening, this becomes an entertainment venue. We'll be offering production style shows in here, and that LED screen will obviously play a major part in that. We also have a stage that pops up at the floor at the bottom, but also can go down so that we can, enjoy our guests dancing in the piazza that is so popular today. If we look over to the starboard side, I love this slide because you really get a sense of the views that you're going to be able to see from the piazza. So we have that 3-deck high of glass, basically, looking out to sea or to one of our destinations. And I think you'll agree that, we'll really let the natural light in here. So what we thought we'd do is maybe have a step through just the venues that are in the piazza and give you a sense of what we have. So it's very important, you'll see a lot of princess favorites as we go through the venues, some that we know and love that maybe have just evolved, but the DNA remains the same. And then we've also sprinkled the ship with some new venues, which hopefully become the favorites of our guests in the future. So the first venue we'll look at this is Coffee Currents. So this is a new coffee bar. It is a new concept for us. This is not the International Cafe. This is actually a coffee bar that will offer additional coffee products in here that we do not offer in the International Cafe. So as I say, this is in addition to the International Cafe. And once again, if you look off to the starboard side there, you really see the views. On the port side of the ship, we have Bellini's, which is a cocktail bar. And again, this is a well-known venue for our guests, our past guests. And again, really just embracing those views. If we go up a deck, this is a new venue for us on Sun Princess. We have a sushi restaurant. We actually have a very similar product on the Diamond Princess. But again, this is an evolution of that, where we have a sushi restaurant. And again, with spectacular views looking out to sea or our destinations. And then over on the port side, we have crooners. And obviously, everyone loves crooners. So you can come here in the evenings, hear one of our guest entertainers playing the piano all evening, doing requests, and just a very, laid-back bar, just fantastic in the evenings, just as really as an entertainment venue. And you can enjoy a drink in here. Also on Deck 8, right adjacent to crooners, we have this mysterious black door. So this is on Deck 8, just by crooners. And so we have this mysterious black door, and I'm not going to tell you anything about it. So you have to come on Sun Princess to find out what is behind the mysterious black door. I will say, I think our guests will love it. But I'm saying nothing else. You have to come visit us and find out what's behind that mysterious black door. We're going to move on. Okay, up on Deck 9 now, we have Alfredo's Pizzeria. So again, Alfredo's is very familiar to our guests. Obviously come in here in the evenings or during the daytime and have a fantastic pizza. We actually have a Neapolitan oven in here now, so we can make, a true Neapolitan style pizza in here. This is definitely a first for us. I believe it might be a first for the industry. What's awesome about Sun Princess too, and we will experience this as we walk around the ship, is we have an expansive promenade outside on Deck 9. This, it isn't a 360-degree promenade. I always get asked that question. However, it is a large promenade deck. It is wide. It goes from midship all the way aft, wraps around the back of the ship through another venue. It offers us a lot of opportunities. So it offers us Alfredo's Pizzeria to have alfresco dining, for example. So again, really embracing those views and all of the natural light coming into the ship. On the opposite side, on starboard side, we have the International Cafe. A favorite of our guests, a favorite of me. Chances are you will find me at the International Cafe. Fantastic, not only food options, but also coffees and lots of just great place to hang out. So one change on the Sun Princess, and we'll release more details in time, is Warfresh Marketplace. So World Fresh Marketplace on Sub Princess will actually be down on deck 9. It will be on this deck adjacent to the International Cafe. Why are we doing that? Well, the reason why we're doing it is it gives us a lot more opportunity for alfresco dining. It connects it well with the space coming off the Piazza. Now, don't worry, up on Lido deck, we still have other food outlets. So, if you're not ordering through Ocean now, you can also go to other food outlets up on the top deck, and we'll share more details of those as time goes on in future releases. So, as I mentioned with Alfredo's, the International Cafe also has alfresco seating outside as well. So again, just really bringing the outside in and enjoying those views. What you see sort of in the background here in white is actually the sphere that we saw in the initial slide. It will actually be glass. It's just the rendering that shows it as white. But you just get a sense of the space here. So what we wanted to talk about next is some of the entertainment venues on board the ship. So the first space we'll talk about is the Princess Arena. So again, for our guests who have traveled on our Royal Class or Grand Class, we have the Princess Theatre. On Sun Class, we have the Princess Arena. And what this actually is it's a fantastic space that can reconfigure itself. It's very technology advanced. So the space can reconfigure itself in such a way that the seating can be arranged to be a proscenium theatre, just exactly like you would see on the Royal Class today. Or the seating can automatically reconfigure itself to give what we call a keyhole stage. And that brings the stage out into the auditorium. And we have a large stage at the back too, which is connected. And that really brings the performers out into the auditorium close to the guests. So they really feel, like they're part of the show. And then the final configuration is we bring the seating around the back of the stage, and now we have theatre in the round. So we can match the configuration of the stage based on what is ideal for that particular production or performance. So again, it's not just one configuration. We can reconfigure the theatre into 3 different configurations. One thing also to point out in here, we've been very fortunate working with our partners at Fincantieri in Italy, that we've always challenged them to not have pillars in our theatres. And again, we've achieved this in the Princess Arena, where we have absolutely minimized the amount of pillars in the space, so you don't have those seats behind the pillars blocking your sight lines. So again, every seat in the house is a great seat with an unobstructed view of the stage. And again, with these different configurations, we really bring the audience right out to the performers, or the performers out to the audience. The next venue to talk about is Princess Live. So Princess Live, again, is a venue we have on our existing fleet. This is just an evolution of that venue. This is a lot more of a lounge. So, in the evenings and during the daytime, we'll have comedians in here, bands, live entertainment, game shows. This is, a real lively entertainment space. And, we'll welcome our guests all day long. A venue we also have is Good Spirits at Sea. And this actually is, again, an evolution. On our Royal Class, we introduced the Good Spirits Bar. And now that has evolved into the Good Spirits Lounge, so the Good Spirits at Sea. And what this is sort of a dedicated venue, a lot more immersive, to really sort of evolve the Good Spirits brand. So we're really excited about this, and we're really looking forward to seeing it and introducing it to our guests. So we mentioned before, on the top deck of the ship is the dome. And here we have a rendering of the dome. This is a spectacular venue. I am very fortunate that I get to visit the Sun Princess every few weeks in Italy, where she's being built, and I get to walk these venues. And I can honestly say the dome is spectacular. So, when we designed this space, we really wanted to, maximize the views, which we've achieved with the dome. We were inspired by the terraces of Santorini, which you can see here how that theme sort of works throughout the space, although it also sort of has a South Beach vibe as well. And we have at the back here, this what we call the tree right there on the center, which has a 9-meter high cascading water feature, which obviously will just fill the space with that sound of falling water. And this space is climate controlled. So if you're like me, where you like the sun, but you also want to keep cool or cooler, this is the place to hang out. So you sort of get all the benefits of hanging out in the sun, but you don't have to deal with the humidity. So this is a climate controlled environment. So you'll be able to grab a book and a drink and just relax in here. This perspective that you see from this rendering is actually for the swimming pool. So we have a swimming pool at the forward end, which is an indoor-outdoor swimming pool. So it's indoor in the dome, and it's outdoor in the sea view terrace. So you could actually jump in the pool in the dome and swim through to the sea view terrace, or vice versa. So that's also really exciting. And then in the evenings, a stage deploys over the swimming pool, and this becomes a major entertainment venue in the evening. So hopefully you agree. This is going to be a spectacular venue on the top of the ship, whether it be during the daytime when you can come out in, and hang out in here, or in the evenings when it becomes a spectacular entertainment venue. So we just announced recently our partnership with Cirque Éloise, which is a Canadian, I'm here in Canada today, Canadian-based company. And we are partnering them exclusively on the Sun Princess. So they're going to have 3 spectacular shows, productions in the dome. And as I said, they are a fantastic company, and they're blending sort of those circus arts with acrobats and performer flying. And this space, again, is a spectacular theatrical space full of all sorts of, fantastic theatrical equipment. And, I really think Cirque Éloise is really going to take advantage of that. And just, the performer flying in there is going to be spectacular in itself. So when we announced this last month in May, and I believe we also have a video that we can show you that'll just give you a little hint of what's coming on board the Sun Princess. Thanks. And I think when you just watch that video and you imagine that in the dome, with you just have that height, and you think of the possibilities with the Aerial X, for example, I think it's just going to be a truly unique venue, and it just gives us the opportunity to do some really unique productions in there as well. So again, another area which is truly excited about. So as I mentioned before, if you walk forward from the dome, or if you swim forward from the dome in the indoor-outdoor pool, you come out onto the sea view terrace. And this is on top of the bridge area, so all the way forward. And this is for all of our guests to enjoy. This is not like a paid area. It is for all of our guests to enjoy. This will obviously is not climate controlled. It's ambient temperature out here. We have all of the glass up here to sort of manage the wind up here, and hopefully it won't be too windy up here, but also just enjoy those spectacular views looking forward as the ship is sailing. So we're just going to touch on food and beverage just for a moment. We're going to be releasing additional details of food and beverage in the coming weeks. As I mentioned, as we look through this presentation today, This isn't all the venues. There are more venues to come, and there's more exciting news to be released. So it's sort of a watch this space as we release more news about Sun Princess. One of the venues we can talk about is the Horizons Dining Room. So this is all the way aft, overlooking the wake of the ship, and it is a 3-deck high dining room. So on our Royal class, we had sort of separate dining spaces for the main dining. On Sun Princess, we have brought these together into one 3-deck high dining room. Now, that said, when you're in the dining room, you will not feel like it's 3 decks high. You will not feel like, there's a lot of other guests in there. You will feel just, in your own area. And you will feel like, it's a more of an, intimate dining experience. But, our opportunity here by expanding it to 3 decks, again, as you can see here, the spectacular wall of glass we have, allowing all of that light in. And just gives us opportunities in terms of decor and just, the feeling of space in the venue. So the way this is laid out is actually on deck 6, deck 7, and deck 8. The way this will operate is sort of on deck 6. It's the much more traditional dining in the sense that, you will come in and it's a 90-minute dining experience, and you can take your time and there's no hurry, and you're just going to, leisurely have your dinner or lunch or breakfast. But if you go up to deck 7, or especially up to deck 8, it's the same menu, but it's a much more, it's a lighter experience in the sense that we will move a lot faster. So if you have family and you want it to be a quick dining experience, or if you're going to go and see a show that evening, deck 8 might be the dining room you want to go to because you just want to go in there, eat, have a great meal, but then leave. Whereas if you want to, hang out and spend a lot of time, and that's your destination maybe for the evening, you may go down and eat on deck 6. Main entrance is on deck 7, and of course our teammates will be there to guide you, depending on what dining experience you would like. So as we step through here, we also have Crown Grill. And again, this is just an evolution of the Crown Grill that we know and love. Obviously just fantastic meals in there. I think we're probably all eating in there, and just an awesome dining experience. We also have Sabatini's. Again, this is just an evolution of Sabatini's. As I say, when you walk around the ship will feel familiar, but also modern. And again, something like Sabatini's is the Sabatini's we know and love, but evolved and, brighter, more modern materials used. And then this is a fantastic venue. So this is the Wakeview Terrace. This is on deck 8. It is all the way aft, and it is overlooking, obviously, the wake of the ship as it vanishes towards the horizon. This is truly a spectacular venue. As you stand here and you can look up at the structure of the ship, but also we have an infinity pool, which you can see in the image here, that is cantilevered over the back of the ship. And as you can also see in our image here, the sides of the pool are also glass. So you really get that sense of, the infinity pool and just looking out to the horizon. This is definitely a South Beach vibe to it, very relaxed. Again, this is open to all of our guests, a bar area. And I think this will be a very popular venue with our guests on board Sun Princess. And then, as we mentioned before, we go all the way up to the Lido deck. So top deck here, deck 17. Again, familiar evolution of the Lido deck. Of course, we have Movies Under the Stars, which is very popular. And again, just a refreshed modern take on our Lido pool area. And as I mentioned before, we also will have food outlets up here, and additional details of that will be released, in the coming weeks and months. So again, we look at the Lido in this image, looking forward. And then we also, of course, have the Sanctuary, which is very popular with our guests. Now, the difference here on the Sun Princess is the Sanctuary is actually on the aft end of the ship. So we have a larger space. The Sanctuary will also have a swimming pool. And the cabanas in the Sanctuary are looking out to sea. So again, this is the Sanctuary we know and love, just reimagined. And obviously, you can go up and enjoy the sanctuary for a nominal fee. But again, definitely something worth checking out, and enhancing that whole vacation experience. So what we also wanted to talk about, we released some additional details last week, is just with regard to our sort of family offerings on board the ship. On board Sun Princess, as with all of our ships, we have lots of multi-generational families on board the ship. So we have, parents bringing the kids, we have grandparents, parents, and the grandchildren. So, we want to make the ship as appealing and as fun for everybody. But what we also wanted to do is sort of have it inclusive. So the first thing we're really excited to announce last week is our new youth and teen centers. So we have Firefly Park for our youngest guests, Neon Grove, and the Underground. So I'll step through these. So the first thing is these three areas are distinct age groups. So we'll get into that in a moment. The fun part of this too is they have their own distinct areas on board the ship. And the reason why we have done that is, everyone wants their own areas. So if you are, a teenager, you don't want to hang out with the kids. And if you're a tween, you don't want to hang out with the kids. If you're a teenager, you don't want to hang out with the tweens. So they're all very distinct areas that have been designed to appeal to that particular age group. So the first one is Firefly Park, and this is for our younger guests. And this actually, for our younger guests, what's exciting about this for us too is we're actually appealing to much younger guests. So in the past, so this is sort of from 6 months up to 7. So the very young crowd from like 6 months to 3 years, they can come in here and enjoy this with their parents. So we have activities in here that they can enjoy as a family. And as I say, and then for our slightly older guests, sort of 3 years onwards, we have lots of fun group activities, arts, all those sort of theme nights, you name it. So we have, everything, something for everyone in here in that particular age group. The next area is the Tweens Club. So this is sort of taking our 7 sort of up to 12, 13-year-olds. And this is, Neon Grove. So this is sort of a hidden area, their own area on board the ship. And this, again, has been designed for that particular age group. So lots of fun activities in here, lots of games to play, lots of places to hang out, fun activities in here, whether it be movie night or, dancing or whatever, just lots of fun things in here. And then as we move to the Underground, this is for our sort of teens on board the ship. This is feels a lot more sophisticated, lots of area to hang out, lots of sofas, sitting areas, games too. Board games are very popular these days, but also, whether it be foosball or air hockey, just lots of fun activities, but very much, these venues have been very much designed to those age groups. And again, these are sort of in their own areas around the ship. So they sort of can keep to themselves, and they, if they don't want to hang out with their parents or adults, then they have their own areas. So an area we announced last week too, which is very exciting, is, drum roll, Park 19. So we announced this last week. So this is all the way on the top of the ship, in what we would call the activity zone, so Park 19. And what we wanted to do, here at Princess Cruises, the reality is we're not going to do a roller coaster. We're not going to do a theme park. We're not going to do water slides. That just isn't us. It's not our DNA. So we looked at it and said, what could we do that really would appeal to our past guests, maybe to see, our guests who sail with us regularly, where they see this as an evolution of fun things to do, but also for future guests, maybe they look at it and say, well, that's new. We really should sail with Princess. So again, this is not a roller coaster, or, a theme park, but it's more of a park setting. And we've have some activities in here that we feel also will be enjoyed by the entire family, and also enjoyed by the entire family together as a unit, as opposed to, a kid doing something and the parents and grandparents waiting for them. What we want to do is have everybody, enjoy this experience together. So this image, so there's a lot going on in this image for us to talk about. Excuse me. So the first thing is the sea breeze. So the sea breeze, you can see our guest here, just top right, who is flying on a track around Park 19. So what we will do is we'll have our guests put on a harness. We clip them onto a motorized vehicle, basically, that is on the track. You reach above you, and off you go flying around Park 19. You can accelerate, you can brake, so you can control your own experience in that sense. You need to keep moving, so you can't stop, but you can, if you want to go a bit quicker, you can do that. And off you go flying. And it's sort of akin to a zip line experience, or also hang gliding. So, for us, we feel this is, depending on whether you like heights, I guess, but a lot more of a relaxing experience. You get to enjoy the views, the vistas, and just get, the wind in your hair, and just get to it, sail around Park 19. On the left-hand side here, you see the net, which is a ropes course. So it's the first ropes course we have done. It's actually 2 decks high. So the lower course is a little bit easier, a little more straightforward. Or if you like to challenge yourself, you can go to the upper deck of the course, which has a few more sort of challenging obstacles. So again, you can sort of pick your experience here. And of course, we also have the jogging track, which is, 360 around Park 19. And throughout this area, there's lots of cool sitting areas. There's lounge chairs. There is just comfy seating. So if you just want a quiet area for you and your family to sit, that's an opportunity here. And we also have hammocks. So again, there's lots of places up here just to find a quiet spot and relax, enjoy the view, but also some really fun activities up here as well. So one of the other activities we have up here is Park 19 Infinite Horizon. So this is a tilt wall. This is a fixed tilt wall that is hanging over the side of the ship. So you can either look straight down and watch the ocean passing by 19 decks below you, or you can look out to the horizon and those spectacular views. Also coming forward in Park 19, we have this new area, which is a splash zone area. So, if you're sailing in warm climates like the Caribbean, this is pop jets and fun water activities for kids of all ages. So, you can run through them, do what, just fun things. And then in the center, we'll actually have a beautiful water sculpture. So again, in the summer, if you want to cool, in the warmer climates, if you want to cool down, pop jets, fun things to play with and interact and, play as a family. Or if we're in a cooler climate, you can come up here with a coffee, enjoy the views, and also just enjoy the water sculpture. Either side of here, we have what we call the coastal climb. And that is a climbing structure that you go up through. It's not a rock wall. You don't need a harness. And you climb up through it, and you go through different obstacles and fun different things. And ultimately, you emerge up on the lookout. And the lookout is deck 21, which is the highest deck on the ship our guests can get to. And then when you want to leave the lookout, you have a few options. The most exciting option is you can take a dry slide down from deck 21 and whiz back down to deck 19. Or if you don't want the exciting slide option, you can also take the stairs or the elevator. So again, with this ship, all of these activities are open to all of our guests. So, if you do want to take the elevator or the stairs to enjoy the lookout, you can do that as well. So one thing we're really excited about that we also announce is you don't have to wait until next January, February to experience the sea breeze. We actually have a 360-degree experience online right now that if you use this QR code, you can actually enjoy a video and also you can control the experience. It's a 360 experience. So if you take your mobile device, if you use this QR code, and you run the video, and you can look around you with your phone, and you really get a sense of just the spectacular views that you're going to be able to see from the sea breeze. So we'll pause here for a second, grab this QR code. We'll come back to it a little later just in case you miss it. But check it out, and you really get a sense of just the space and the views from this fantastic park area. So what we wanted to do now is just have a quick look at the accommodation that's on board the ship. Again, looking at the accommodation, we have redesigned the accommodation from the ground up. So we took a fresh look at our staterooms on board. We spoke to past guests. We actually went on board some of our ships and spoke to guests who were actually on board the ship sailing and said to them, how do you use your cabin? What would you like to see? What don't you like? And fortunately, our guests don't hold back, and they told us exactly what they would like to see on future ships. And we took that input and developed these cabins. So the first one we'll look at here is the deluxe balcony. So, on the Royal class, we had some of the deluxe balcony, the difference being the deluxe balcony stateroom has a sofa. On the Sun Princess, all of our balcony staterooms are deluxe. All of our balcony staterooms have a sofa. And in fact, all of the categories have a sofa, even the inside cabins. And you'll see an image of that shortly, where we have managed to put a small sofa in that cabin as well. And I think you'll agree that, for our families, the fact that you're not sort of all centered around the bed, and the fact that you have these different areas for the family to hang out in and have a sofa, etc., is fantastic. And here you can see that layout with the sofa and the bed, and the way the staterooms, what we say is they interlock. So in 50% of the cabins, the bed is close to the sliding doors, and the sofa is on the inside, as it were. In the other 50% of the cabins, the sofa is close to the patio doors, the sliding doors, and the bed is on the inside of the cabin. It really just depends which flavor of cabin you get. We've also, just this slide here, I already gave it away that we have the sofas in these cabins. The other thing we have redesigned is also the bathrooms. And for our guests who have sailed with us who are on this particular presentation today, no more shower curtains. So now we have these beautiful enclosed glass showers, no more shower curtains. So we're really excited about that. I always usually get a cheer with that when we're in a large group. And again, these have been designed to really maximize the amount of space. I'm going to actually go back to a slide here too. One thing that you'll notice for our past guests is we have also got rid of the walk-in closet. And the reason for that is, it took up quite a bit of space and wasn't necessarily always practical. So we have given up the walk-in closet, and as a result, we've been able to give that space back to the guests. So for example, every cabin gets a sofa. But what we've also been able to do is introduce maybe a more traditional closet, but also with a lot more storage options. So, shelves and drawers and just those, all those areas, the little knickknacks that you have when you unpack. So again, this was just sort of this evolution where we looked at it and said, how can we give the space back to our guests, but also, maximize the amount of storage space available to them? I'll keep stepping through here. So this is the Cove Balcony Stateroom. So this is, again, a new type of stateroom for us. This is in a really unique location. So something we'll have to get used to on Sun Princess is the bottom of the Piazza is actually deck 7 on the Sun Princess. On our Royal class, it's deck 5. And what we've been able to do is put more cabins underneath the Piazza, including these Cove Balcony cabins. So there is actually balcony cabins within the hull of the ship below the Piazza. So, this is, if you love the sound of the water and, having that privacy, these Cove Balcony cabins are going to be fantastic for you. A door, window, and the same layout as the deluxe balcony cabins that you find throughout the rest of the ship. Next one is the ocean view cabins. Again, this is the same layout as the balcony cabins. What's very cool about this cabin is right at the end there, underneath the window, you have this beautiful little niche with another little sofa spot. When we have seen these in the mock-ups, this is just a place to sit and hang out with a book with those ocean views. So this is kind of a real bonus with this type of cabin, where you see that little sort of nook area close to the window. Where you can just, you can imagine just sitting there with a coffee and a book and just looking out to sea. And then our inside cabins, again, have been reimagined. We have been able to introduce a sofa also into these cabins. And again, lots of storage space. And in addition, this, re-envisioned bathroom. So again, a real sort of lift for our inside cabins as well. And then this is our mini suites. So again, an evolution of our mini suites and how they are sort of put together. Obviously, a larger cabin than our balcony, a different configuration with the wardrobes, and just giving a lot more space back to our guests. And as we know as we talk about mini suites and some of the other categories of cabins, we also have reserve collection. So this is, an upgrade, as it were, to the mini suites with additional amenities and just an uplift to the mini suite experience. And what's fantastic on the Sun Princess is with the reserve collection, and the reserve collection we used to call club class, and as I say, now it's called reserve collection. They also have now reserve collection have a dedicated restaurant, which again, excuse me, is just a fantastic benefit of having a reserve collection cabin on board the ship. This is a cabin we're really excited about, and it's the Reserve Collection Cabana Mini Suites. This again is a new type of stateroom for us. If you look at the layout that we see up on the screen here, so basically, if you look to the left here, this is a standard sort of balcony cabin layout with our sofa. As you go to the center here, where you see the word private cabana, this is the new space that we're introducing in these particular cabins. So on the inside towards the cabin, we have the sliding door that separates the cabana area to the main cabin space. On the outer side, we have a multi-leaf door that, when opened, completely opens the space. So what this means when you look at this cabin is you can keep the outer doors closed and open the inner doors, and now you have a much larger cabin space to enjoy. Or you can close the inner door and open the outer door, and now you have a cabana that is directly connected to your balcony. So again, it's this multi-use space where you can choose how you wish to use it. It has a TV in there, and just a great place. Just this cabana that is connected to your balcony. So again, we're really excited about these. When we see them, we're like, these are great cabins. And the other thing with the Reserve Collection cabana cabins, they also have a private cabana deck that you can see in this rendering here. So about 50% of the cabana cabins on deck 9 open directly onto the cabana deck. So if you want to step out onto your balcony and then step from your balcony straight into this private cabana deck area, which has a jacuzzi and fantastic, beautiful furniture, you can do that. The other 50% of the cabana cabins in this area of the Reserve Collection cabanas, they do not directly access the cabana deck. It just means you have to walk around and go onto the cabana deck. So really, it's what you want. If you want to walk straight onto the cabana deck from your cabin, you can. Or if you prefer to walk around and have that extra, maybe additional bit of privacy, you can do that as well. Really just decides what you want to do. We have really upped our suite game on Sun Princess. Obviously, our suites now are called the Signature Collection. And we have some new amenities on board, new venues on board associated with Signature. The first one being a dedicated Signature restaurant for our suite guests. In addition, we also have a 2-deck high Signature lounge, which is on the aft end of the ship with spectacular views. And also, in addition, the Signature suite guests also have a private dedicated sun deck up on deck 18. So again, with this, if you book a signature suite, you get these, fantastic upgraded amenities. So in looking through some of the suites just quickly, we have the Signature Collection Penthouse Suite. This is our sort of standard suite. We have 50 suites on board. This is our most sort of standard suite on board. Beautiful upgraded bathroom, sitting area, extended balcony, and obviously bedroom area. Then we have the owner suite, and I will go to the layout here. Well, again, it's a much larger footprint, larger living space. We also have a small dining area in the signature owner suite, and again, upgraded balcony experience. And then the ultimate experience is the signature Sky Suite. And these are our largest suites on board the Sun Princess. These are just incredible. As I go to the next slide here, this looks like a fantastic bedroom. This is actually the secondary bedroom. This is not the master bedroom. This is the secondary bedroom. And here, if we look at the layout, here you can see, again, 2 bedrooms, a master bedroom and a secondary bedroom, 2 bathrooms, dining area, dining room, living room area. So these are, the ultimate Sky Suites, which are on board the Sun Princess. So then we're going to jump back to our final chance to win.
Superb. Thank you so much, Richard. So last chance saloon, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be in the running to win a 4-night staycation cruise, make sure you are scanning this QR code and entering your details. Richard, I think the only word that comes to mind is wow. This ship just looks absolutely spectacular. It's, you hit the nail on the head. It definitely looks like an evolution of Princess. It feels and looks like Princess, but just like you said, it's more modern. It just looks so enticing, and I can't wait to get on board myself. I really can't.
Yeah, she truly is going to be spectacular. And actually, we just jump to this slide for a second. So this is the ship under construction in Italy, and this picture was taken in March. So the ship is now floating at the outfitting pier, and is coming together. And as we walk around the ship, you just start getting a sense of the spaces. It's one thing to look at the renderings, but now you're actually standing in the spaces. And, I have to say, from my perspective, where, I started with a blank piece of paper, is you start to have those goosebump moments where you're like, this is going to be amazing. 100%. So really exciting. And of course, also in last month in May, we announced the sister ship to the Sun Princess, which is the Star Princess. Again, a name that is loved by us who have been with the company a long time. Just like Sun Princess, this is going to be the 3rd ship with the Star Princess name, so it's a very special name to us. And she will be starting to sail in the summer of 2025. So very excited about that too. And then we'll just jump to this QR code because I want everyone to experience the sea breeze.
Of course.
So grab this, please, and experience the ship. Yeah.
And on this sea breeze, I did see some information about it being wheelchair accessible. Is that correct?
So the ship has actually been built to ADA 2010. So, all of the ship is accessible for all of our guests. With the sea breeze, there will be certain requirements with regard to sort of height and weight, but also the sea breeze is accessible for our ADA guests. There will be some requirements because obviously you do hold on and you do drive yourself in the sense of the speed and braking and everything. So there will be some requirements, but it is fully accessible. We do have elevators or lifts to all areas of the ship for all of our guests to enjoy.
Superb. And if anybody does have any concerns around, like you said, it's not roller coasters. This isn't necessarily royal.
We don't do roller coasters.
It's much more of that. It's much more of that kind of interactive space. And I mean, how much space does this cover of the entire ship?
Oh, I mean, it's up on deck 19, and it's like a minutia in comparison to the entire ship. It's just another opportunity that if it's something you want to try, go up and enjoy Part 19, and I guarantee you will. But obviously, if you don't want to experience Part 19, then there's 175,500 tons of ship to enjoy. So
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. If it's not for you, then the dome just looks mind blowing.
Yeah.
What a space that looks like.
And I do feel with Park 19, when you go up there, because it's a park, it feels like a park space. I think you'll enjoy it, and try something new.
100%.
So, So we want to just touch on obviously our maiden voyages. So, we start with the first voyage out of Barcelona, but we offer these 10-night Mediterranean round trips from Rome, or we have a 19-day or a 21-day, and of course obviously all of these details are on our website for you to check out all of that information.
And I know that a few people are saying February, is that really the best time to be in the Mediterranean? It's a fantastic time. Feb, March, maybe avoid Easter in Rome because that's quite busy. But Feb, March, April is one of the best times to be in the Mediterranean because you're not going to get those swarms of guests, traveling internationally. You can actually just walk into those venues, places like the Vatican and things like that. And it feels like you've got those spaces to yourself. So it's actually a really great time to be visiting the Med.
It really is. I totally agree with you. Yeah, it really is a great time of year to be there.
And I know all of our trade partners, you're desperate to get your hands on some collateral. So we will have within the next 24 hours more information all about the Sun Princess. We'll have a 16-page flyer available, and we will have plenty more collateral coming soon. Hopefully, we'll also be printing something for you as well. Now, I know we've got plenty of people on board this presentation who are chomping at the bit to know if they are the lucky winners of the amazing Seacation. So let's have a look. I believe we've got a winner. And that lucky winner is Pauline McLennan from House of Travel in New Zealand. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We've got your email contact information, so we'll be in touch to give you more details, and we'll get you on board the beautiful Royal Princess. Just before we leave, I just had a couple of questions myself, just kind of looking at these amazing images. Princess Live, it's very much reimagined. Will it still have the TV cameras to record the entertainment for our guests to watch on demand?
It's sort of shifted more towards the lounge now. Again, it's all about evolution, right? So if you look at the Royal and Regal and even Majestic, they were much more of a sort of a TV studio to what you were referring. But then as the ship sort of evolved into the Sky Enchanted Discovery, Princess Live became more of a sort of a lounge area as opposed to a TV studio. So Sun Princess is continuing that evolution.
Superb. Beautiful. And I saw in the images of the balconies, I mean, all of the cabin choices look incredible. Very smart by kind of removing that walk-in wardrobe, which was kind of like a bit of a void, really. It was a lot of space taken up. So just by doing that change gives an awful lot more space back. I noticed in the images there was an espresso machine. Did guests get an espresso machine in this cabin?
So what we are going to, some of these details still need to be finalized. So,
okay.
But what we will be offering, I believe where we're heading is that if you want to have coffee or tea making facilities in your room, you can request that. Super. So now the suites, for example, they will have coffee machines in the rooms and coffee and tea making facilities. But I think the plan right now, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, is that you'll be able to request that. Some people, if my hair, obviously I'm British, so I like a cup of tea as soon as I wake up in the morning. But others are ready and up out the door and heading to the International Cafe. So again, it depends on the experience, but that's the thinking right now.
Got you. So it's giving the flexibility, which is brilliant.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And before we let you go, what's your favorite area on board? What area on board are you most excited about?
You can't ask me that. It's like choosing your favorite kid. The areas I'm really looking for, like the areas that make me go wow as I walk around the ship, are the Piazza. The dome is sort of one of those goosebump moments. And also the sea view terrace on the back of the ship, which just never gets old. Every time you walk out there, it's a wow moment. But I just think, everyone, again, I'm very lucky that I have the opportunity to see the ship often, and I tour people around the ship. And everyone, as you said, goes, wow. I mean, wow. It feels familiar, but at the same time, wow. So, yeah, very hard to choose, but I think they're the venues that give me the goosebumps.
Fantastic. Well, I know over in Toronto it's probably about 10 o'clock now, so it's getting
It
on.
is.
But I can't say thank you enough. What an amazing presentation. And it's just so exciting to see this ship. And I know that everyone here in Australia and New Zealand is desperate to get on board.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone at home watching this presentation. Hopefully you got plenty out of it. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to your sales manager. Thank you for joining, and one more time, thank you so much for your time, Richard.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. All the very best, everyone. See you later.
Bye.